Hi everyone, it's Linda from Colourwerx Designs and welcome back to week number 2 of the Feelin Groovy QuiltAlong. This week is all about slashing and sewing the background squares together. This is technique number 1 and I think you're going to love it. There's no exact 1/4 inch seams, no exact cutting needed. You just slash and sew and put these squares back together. And I think once you find out how easy this technique is, you're going to find other useful things to do with it, such as table runners, whole quilts, or even use it as a border. I'll show you all of that at the end of this video, but let's get down to the cutting board and let's get started. So to begin with, you should have already put together 5 color groups with 4 11-inch squares in each color group. Or if you're making the baby quilt like I am, you're going to put together 4 color groups with 4 11-inch squares in each color group for a total of 16 squares. Once you've done that, we're ready to start slashing and sewing. Right, so here we are at our cutting board, and how do we get started? You select your first color group with 4 11-inch squares in it, and you're going to stack these right side up on your cutting board. Whatever order you want to put them in, that's okay. Just make sure that they are right side up. Even up the edges best you can, and create a stack of 4 squares. The first slash we're going to make is random, so take your ruler, following the instructions and the diagrams that are on page 1 of the Feelin Groovy pattern. Refer to that if you need to. You're going to slash right through. Very random. I'm going to do another slash round about here, and again, refer to the pattern for the exact configuration of where these slashes are. And I make a third slash right there. So what I end up with are 4 piles, and I'm going to label these piles A, B, C, and D. Now I'm going to shuffle the piles. So I'm going to leave pile A alone. I'm going to take pile B and I'm going to move the top fabric to the bottom of the stack. Make sure you relabel it. I'm going to take pile C and I'm going to take the 2 top fabrics and I'm going to move them to the bottom of the stack. Relabel. Take pile D and take the first 3 fabrics and move them to the bottom of the stack. I now have a different fabric on top of each pile. Now I'm going to put these back together, but I'm going to put them back together in the reverse order that I cut them. So A and B will be last. I'm going to start with C and D and piece these together. Now that I have C and D put together, I simply attach B and then A to the B, C, D group. So let's do that, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's complete. And there you go, I've got one of my squares complete, and now I can go ahead and do the other 3 sets of squares that I've cut apart. Make sure that you don't disturb any of the piles or mix them up. I've got 4 kind of wonky slash and sew squares. Don't worry about all these uneven edges. Just leave them wonky and kind of uneven like that. We're going to put the swirls on for week number 3 and then we'll square them all down. So let's do that again. Now that you know how to make this quick and easy slash and sew block, I want to show you some other fun ways that you can use it in your quilting. But first, remember the golden rule. 4 blocks in will yield 4 completed blocks out. And remember, anything goes with this. If you want to go to your stash and cut up 9-inch squares, great. If you want to use a layer cake, which are 10-inch squares, or a 5-inch charm pack, that works too. Just remember that you have to square everything down to a common denominator. So let's see what other ways you can use this fun block. That's it for week number 2. Thank you so much for joining us. Next week, week number 3, we're going to be applying those swirls onto these background squares. So tune in next week. Until then, happy Colourwerx quilting always, and we'll see you later.